It's Wednesday, February 9th, and this is now on HNN.
You can have gun rights without having society awash in guns.
The uptick in violent crimes across the country have sparked debate over the root cause of the problem and how to fix it. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill as both House and Senate lawmakers weigh in with their solutions.
I still have to admit I'm shocked.
A bribery scandal rocks the state capitol and spurs new questions about transparency.
These stories, plus Big Island officials are defending their response to the tsunami threat triggered by the recent volcanic eruption in Tonga. That's coming up on This Is Now.
We want to get started with this new video into our newsroom from the Valley Isle. There's been an accident on Hono-a-Pililani Highway. Now this is at the Lahaina bypass. We're told a vehicle has gone into the ocean here. We started getting reports about this crash just after 9 a.m., but details are still very limited. As soon as we get more information, we'll post it to your HNN digital platforms.
Aloha and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for watching This Is Now. Let's get to our talker story. New data shows the U.S. has seen a sharp increase in violent crime over the past 2 years. Now, on Capitol Hill, lawmakers from both sides of the aisle held news conferences today to discuss varying solutions to the spike, while experts say there's no one solution to bring down that trend. Skyler Henry has more.
This week, police in Miami, Florida responded to a tragic scene. A father shot and killed his 2 children before turning the gun on himself. While in Los Angeles, the family of Ricardo Trujillo Ramirez tearfully offered a reward in hopes of finding the person who shot and killed the 16-year-old last September.
The last few months have been heartbreaking.
It's part of a nationwide spike in violent crime. A recent report from the Council on Criminal Justice showed homicides in major American cities ticked up in 2021, with a 5% increase from 2020 and, more disturbingly, a 44% increase over 2019.
It's not a simple problem, and we can't explain it simply.
George Washington University professor Dr. Fran Buntman says there's no single solution to help reduce the trend, even as the Justice Department takes new steps to stop the flow of illegal guns and ghost guns, which are assembled using parts created by 3D printing technology.
You can have gun rights without having society awash in guns. But guns are not the only problem.
The uptick in violent crime has also become a campaign issue ahead of November's midterm elections to decide control of Congress.
The crime that we are seeing surging across this country is a direct result of Democrats' soft-on-crime policies.
In dueling news conferences Wednesday, Senate Republicans and House Democrats were split on the root causes of violence.
I don't think you've heard anybody here suggest that we should be soft on crime. It starts with crime prevention.
But both sides agreed that local police departments need more resources. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Police have opened a murder investigation following the discovery of a body at the scene of a Pearl City apartment fire. The suspect, Scott DeAngelo, remains hospitalized. He apparently hurt himself while running away from the crime scene. Police arrested him just before 6 last night in Laie. Investigators believe he killed an acquaintance and set his apartment on fire. Witnesses reported seeing DeAngelo with a gun and jumping from a window moments before flames erupted from the 4th floor unit on Lehua Avenue. The victim has not yet been identified.
Now to the pandemic, the state says 7 more residents have died after contracting COVID-19. The health department is also reporting 519 new infections today. 323 are on Oahu, while the Big Island, Maui, and Kauai are reporting double digits. Kauai County is separately adding 2 more COVID fatalities and 49 cases.
Now, we've been talking a lot about this story. Many states doing away with those mask mandates, but the CDC's director says COVID-19 case and hospitalization numbers in the U.S. remain too high to ease those guidelines now.
Yes, we are prepared. We are working on that guidance. We are working on, following the trends for the moment. What I will say, though, is, our hospitalizations are still high. Our death rates are still high. So as we work towards that and as we are encouraged by the current trends, we are not there yet.
Now, we first told you about this yesterday as breaking news on This Is Now. Former Senate Majority Leader Jay Kalani English and West Oahu Representative Ty Cullen are facing felony charges for allegedly accepting bribes from an unnamed company to affect the outcome of a bill regarding cesspools.
We are announcing clearly that corruption poses a fundamental threat to our way of life and will not be tolerated.
Now, English's attorney said he's deeply sorry and will plead guilty. Now, Cullen abruptly resigned yesterday, and we just got this information in from his attorney. He says he also plans to plead guilty to the federal charges. His lawyer said the former lawmaker takes responsibility for his actions and is cooperating fully with federal investigators. So one government watchdog group is calling this a stain on the ledge. Our Jolani Martinez has that reaction.
Federal prosecutors did not say if the two cases are connected, but they both involved the same legislation that was killed last year. We spoke to several political and legal experts who believe more people could be implicated.
I still have to admit I'm shocked by the allegations and the charges because it's so rare that you see something this blatant.
If this was a common thing that was happening at the legislature, I would be rather worried if I was a senator or representative.
While Jay Kalani English and Ty Cullen are now both out of the legislature and facing years in prison, HNN political analyst Colin Moore believes this will not be the end of this chain of corruption.
I have a hard time believing that no other elected official had any idea that this sort of thing was going on. Rumors spread pretty quickly in institutions like that, and more of them need to take a stand and probably call out their colleagues.
The FBI investigation into English stretches back 4 months before his resignation, which at the time he claimed was related to long-term COVID symptoms. The charges allege the owner of an industrial cleaning business paid English more than $18,000 to introduce and then kill a cesspool removal bill that would benefit his company. The feds say Cullen received more than $22,000 to influence a House version of the bill.
So it's really interesting to see whether or not and how strong the legislature will come out this session. And it's a good thing that this session is still new and fresh. Why? Perhaps legislature should come out with tougher ethical laws and tougher laws that prohibit politicians from accepting these dinners, these cash, or any type of gratuities.
Many lawmakers sent statements today condemning the alleged actions and say this is another blow to all trust in government.
People lose faith in their elected leaders, people lose faith in government. And so it is just something that is hard to come back from.
This is one of the reasons why we've had one of the lowest voter turnouts in the nation for years. This is why people don't want to engage in our local democracy.
Jolani Martinez, Hawaii News Now.
Hawaii County is defending its response to the tsunami threat triggered by the volcanic eruption in Tonga last month. The Hawaii Tribune-Herald reports residents have complained that the emergency sirens did not go off overnight when the tsunami advisory was issued. But the civil defense director says that sounding the sirens overnight may have caused panic, potentially creating more problems. Mayor Mitch Roth also says the response could have been more robust if news of the tsunami advisory came earlier. Waves 1 to 3 feet high hit parts of Hawaii Island, causing some damage to property and businesses in Kailua Kona. Steve and Ian have been covering the Super Bowl all week, and they had an unexpected encounter in Los Angeles. Check it out.
Something bizarre happened to us in SoFi Stadium yesterday.
Yeah. So we're down on the field, we're filming our stories for yesterday, and we get to talking with the guy who's filming next to us. Turns out he's a really big fan of sunrise, and he doesn't even live in this country.
You fly all the way to LA, you meet somebody that's covering the Super Bowl, all the way from Australia. This world is too small. Shane McInnes joins us. What media outlet?
3AW Radio in Melbourne.
Okay. So American football is big in Australia?
Absolutely. Aussies love it. It works out perfect for us because we have our cricket and football during the day, and then wake up Monday morning and 4 a.m. and NFL's there, and an event like this, we try and equate it to what we have back in Australia, but it's not even similar. It's just amazing, the scale of this event.
Yeah, and this conversation started because we were standing over here, and you come to Hawaii, and you watch Hawaii News Now.
Love Hawaii News Now. Big fan, big fan. It's so easy to get to Hawaii, or at least it was pre-pandemic, and we absolutely love it, coming to Waikiki and Maui, and watch you guys regularly, and love it. So yeah, big fan.
No, we appreciate that. So what do you normally like to do in Hawaii? I know you said you like to get out, I'm assuming, but the climate is so similar.
It is. There's something about Hawaii that there's this great mix of, kind of pop culture America, and can do all the retail shopping and the likes. And then there's just this lusciousness of Hawaii and that tropical feeling. And, we love downtown Waikiki, and but then, going to places like Kailua and going to Maui and, just escaping for a bit. It's kind of the best of both worlds. And for an Australian, it's a 9-hour flight. It's so easy to get to. And while the pandemic has certainly made it difficult from a travelling point of view, we just can't wait to get back. And people I speak to, you ask them, where do you want to go most? What's the place that you've missed? Hawaii. Everyone says it.
Okay, so this is on the bucket list for Ian, Scott, and myself. We want to go to where you are.
Yeah.
So when we do make that trip, what do we have to do?
You got to come to Melbourne. Melbourne's the place to come to. Don't worry about Sydney and Sydney Harbour. But Melbourne is the place. And if you like this stadium, the MCG is kind of our equivalent. 100,000. It's the home of sport. The 1956 Olympics. But look, there are so many great places. Sydney Harbour's obviously beautiful. I'm an unabashed Victoria, Melbourne person, being from there. But look, the beaches are amazing. That is one thing that we can really put our hand up and brag about. Just the beaches. Unfortunately, the water's a lot cooler than what it is in Hawaii.
And you have spiders and you have snakes. So that's
we do, but it's just not as scary. We have sharks as well, and the thing is, they're not as bad as Steve Irwin made it out to be, and they're not as common. And just for the record, there aren't kangaroos hopping around every backyard either.
And there's stereotypes everywhere.
Yeah.
So can you project forward? Can you give us a final score? Who do you expect to win this game?
Look, I was on the Rams coming here, and then I waved and I thought, Joe Burrow is such a cool dude from Cincinnati. But seeing the forecast, I think sorry, I don't know what it is Fahrenheit. It's 30 degrees Celsius on Sunday. It's going to be warm.
Yeah, sorry.
I think the fact that LA based here, I reckon the Rams might do it. And Matt Stafford's such a great story as well, coming across from Detroit.
Yeah, you've been such a great sport. Shane, thanks, man. We
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
and we'll see you back home in Hawaii.
Absolutely.
Or where you are.
So this guy is standing next to us. You pay him a compliment after he's done taping his thing, and the guy goes, "Oh, thanks very much, Steve. I'm a big fan." And the look on my face is like,
It was an odd moment.
It was really strange,
for sure.
but it was really cool.
And he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Shane, by the way, has offered to host Sunrise on the road in Australia. I hope you guys are all ready for that. I think they are.
I'm going for that one.
And you
Yeah,
gotta
I'll
come
go for
too.
that one.
Yeah. In the meantime, we're in LA for the Super Bowl. Back to you guys.
Making friends,
Oh
those
yeah,
guys.
we love Australia too.
Yeah, take us.
Yeah. So while the Rams and the Bengals are preparing for the big game, many football fans are too, and that's because a record number of people are expected to place legal bets on the Super Bowl.
That's right. I wanted to show you this graphic here. Check this out. So when the teams kick off in LA, get this, a record 31.4 million Americans are expected to have money on the line. That's $7.6 billion.
Woo!
$7.6 billion. So who are the fans betting to win? Research from the American Gaming Association shows 55% are wagers going for the Rams and 45% for the Bengals.
And while millions are placing their bets Sunday, fans of the Rams and Bengals watching in the team's home states will not have that option, right, John?
Yeah, that's right, because sports betting is illegal in California, and Ohio's program hasn't really launched just yet. And keep this in mind, gambling is illegal here on the island as well, but that could be changing soon, but not in time for the Super Bowl. According to our partners at Civil Beat, state lawmakers are considering some bills to regulate betting. The top proposal includes a bill that allows sports wagering on mobile devices and permits fantasy sports websites to operate in the state. We'll just have to wait and see what shakes out at the ledge there. And also we should note when talking about gambling, if you think you might have a problem, there is a hotline, 1-800-GAMBLER. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is legal in Vegas, of course.
Right, of course.
Yes. All right, guys, taking you live outside. It's looking gorgeous over Punch Bowl there. Here's Guy Hoggy with an update.
Winds will be shifting later on this afternoon, and we'll lose those easterly breezes. Light and variable winds will continue through Friday. And then on Saturday, trade winds make a slow comeback. And then there'll be a little bit on the breezier side on Monday, but still running maybe about 10 to 15, 10 to 20. So strong winds not in the forecast anytime soon. Significant rainfall not in the forecast either. However, with the winds running light today, tomorrow, and Friday, the afternoon spotty showers might even turn to brief downpours. They won't last for long, and they won't be widespread. And we're going to see lots and lots of sunshine for leeward sides. And in the next couple of days with the light winds, overnight temperatures will run cool.
New today, stunning footage from Kilauea showing the restart of lava activity. This video was taken at the summit this morning thanks to Epic Lava for the footage. The on-again, off-again eruption had paused on Monday morning, according to USGS officials, but has resumed. Even with the impressive display, there is still no indication the eruption is migrating off the summit.
New today, recent testing shows elevated levels of pollution in Kaneohe Bay. Casey Lunn has more on that.
This data, this report, is from the Surfrider Foundation's Blue Water Task Force. They collected samples and found elevated levels of Enterococcus. That is a fecal bacteria that shows the presence of animal or human waste in the water. Now, just how bad of a problem is this? Well, trained volunteers tested 23 sites for that bacteria. 20 of those were regularly tested in 2021. They had at least half of their samples exceeding the beach action value. That's the standard most widely used to make water and beach management decisions. Some of the sites with the highest levels, Kahulu'u, Hakipu'u Boat Ramp, and Waihole, had at least 77% of their samples exceeding state health standards. Well, part of the problem, according to the Surfrider Foundation, is land-based runoff, but their research suggests one of the major problems are cesspools. The Kahulu'u testing site is located at a Priority 1 cesspool area. It had some of the highest levels of bacteria. Hawaii lawmakers did pass a bill banning cesspools at new construction homes. There's also a law on the books that will force all cesspools to be converted to wastewater systems by 2050. There is also currently pending legislation that would require cesspools at existing homes to be converted within 12 months if the home is sold. But Arlene Velasco, a volunteer with the Surfrider Foundation and co-coordinator of the Blue Water Task Force, says it's a much bigger problem than cesspools alone.
To me, it's a much bigger societal issue than an individual homeowner deciding that they're going to replace their cesspool. The problem with the geology of the Hawaiian island, especially here, is that we don't have the luxury of being able to just simply replace our cesspools with a septic system, which requires a leach field, and we just don't have the land or the porosity of the soil to do that. So we need to rely on new technology, and we need to rely on an overall approach to providing adequate sewage relief for these homeowners that have cesspools.
With all these factors at play adding to the bacteria problem here at Kaneohe Bay, experts say there's another element to all of this, and that's climate change. Sea level rise will only make the issue worse in the next few decades. Reporting outside Kualoa Ranch, I'm Casey Lund. Now back to you.
All right, time for another update on the 2022 Winter Games.
Here's a look at that medal count. Austria leaps into the top 3 with multiple medals.
Up there with Austria, Norway and the Russian Olympic Committee are in the double digits. Lindsay Jacob Ellis won the women's snowboard cross to clinch Team USA's first gold in the Beijing Winter Olympics. U.S. skier Michaela Schifrin crashed out of a second event, and snowboarding legend Shaun White fumbled before reaching the men's halfpipe finals.
The International Olympic Committee has delayed the medals ceremony for the figure skating team. They say it's due to, quote, a legal consultation. Here's Mark Adams, IOC spokesman.
The situation arose today at short notice, which requires legal consultation with the ISU. You'll appreciate, because there's legal implications involved in this, I can't really talk very much more about it at this stage. Hopefully we'll be able to give you an update during the day, or we will give you an update during the day, and it will become clearer, but it's a kind of an emerging issue, so I can't actually add very much.
Today at the Winter Olympics, after making history in the short program, Nathan Chen is in position to win gold, while Chloe Kim looks to repeat gold in the halfpipe finals. Coverage kicks off at 2:30 with the Olympic Zone right here on KHNL.
It's a holiday, and I didn't even know it was my favorite holiday, but it is.
What is it?
National Pizza Day!
Oh, yeah.
And Grubhub put together a list of people's top ingredients in the U.S., and here we go. Of course, pepperoni.
Yep.
My favorite. Mushrooms, number 2. Sausage, number 3. Black olives, number 4. Bacon, number 5. Almost all very meaty toppings. Onions, number 6. Pineapple making the list at number 7. Green peppers, number 8. Spinach, number 9. And ham, 10. So I'm such a classic, really a basic pizza lover. Pepperoni and sausage.
I am a sausage jalapeno.
Oh, I'd go there.
Yeah.
Jalapeno
Black
is
olives.
not even making the
I know.
list. Yeah.
Black olives, not so much.
No, me either. And so, we're still talking about those ads for the Super Bowl, and we're getting a preview today. Here is Michael George with a look at just that.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. But the seashells didn't sell so well. So Sally set up a seashell store on Squarespace.
This new Super Bowl ad from Squarespace featuring Zendaya made its debut on CBS Mornings.
Oh, Blaze. Brings back so many good memories.
A-list celebrities are taking over many of this year's Super Bowl spots.
It's really designed to bring viewers of all ages in. You see Zendaya, who definitely appeals to a bit of a younger consumer base, but brands are really in to appeal to a large 100 million people who will be tuning into the Super Bowl.
Ad Age editor Janine Poggi says the 2022 trend is lighthearted fun.
I love that we get to sleep in. Ordering fresh mint mouthwash.
After the past 2 years and the fatigue that we've all experienced, brands are really looking to entertain and have a party atmosphere.
Bucking that trend is Budweiser. After sitting out the last big game for the first time in 37 years, the brand and its iconic Clydesdale horses are back, with a spot about resiliency directed by Oscar winner Chloe Zhao. Some companies pay as much as $7 million just for a 30-second spot in the Super Bowl. Some viewers we spoke with said the ads may be memorable, but they're not always effective.
If you're that 2 or 3 that people actually talk about after the Super Bowl, then it's worth it. But pretty much, they're kind of like white noise.
Another spot generating buzz is this Planet Fitness commercial featuring Lindsay Lohan poking fun at herself. Advertising insiders say it's part of a push from health and wellness companies to get in on the Super Bowl action. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Lots of stars being featured.
Lindsay Lohan, where's she been?
Coming out of nowhere. Well, and if football isn't your thing, the Puppy Bowl is returning for its 18th year on Super Bowl Sunday. Now, this year's show will feature a record 103 puppies, 9 pairs of puppy siblings, with 51 shelters from 23 different states represented. Now, while producers aim to entertain, the main goal is always to raise awareness about pet adoption. So at the end of each break, puppies currently available for adoption will be shown during the program, and the 3-hour special will be streamed on Discovery Plus and on air on the U.S. network Animal Planet.
Speaking of puppies.
I know. Check out my puppy, Stanley. We just adopted him last week from the Hawaiian Humane Society. And I got to tell you guys, look at his heart butt. I can't get over it. If you guys can adopt a puppy, that's the way to go.
Those paws.
I know. He's the best.
You guys, I would watch puppies all day, but we got to let you go. And don't forget, Olympic coverage starts at 2:30 on KHNL with the Olympic Zone. Fresh coverage getting started at 3 p.m.